Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to make a couple of wreaths using the ringlet method. We're going to start with this egg hunt, and we start with this sign, which I got at Michael's. I do have one over on my website. And then we're going to use the base to be green. I couldn't decide between these two, but I decided to go ahead and go with the one on the left because it's solid green, because this one is so pretty. I just know there's something beautiful I can make with it down the road. It's also over at DIYDion.com if you like it. We're going to start by cutting our pipe cleaners into thirds. Now, had I known I was going to use two 30-foot meshes, I would have cut them on top of each other, but I did not realize that. And this one I just went ahead and rolled it out long enough that I could get two cuts. So that way you don't have to roll it in between each 10-inch. You just roll it out over 20 inches and cut the first one and cut the second one. Saves a little bit of time. Then just roll it up tight, and I always like to spin it so that both of the rings are pointed up. But yeah, you just roll it as tight as you can. This is really a good one where the Bodabra comes in handy. Take all of them and put a pipe cleaner down the middle and twist it up. Then add it to your wreath frame. You can see I used, from the inside, I used the second and third one and then just alternated. This is the finished product once you get the sign on. And now I decide which Easter eggs am I going to use. I got these at Michael's, and I got one of every style they had because I just loved them all. These are, to me, like the old school eggs you made where you dipped them in those little colored waters. These are speckled, but they're a little more vibrant color. And then these are speckled with a little more natural colors. Then these are fabric covered. Pretty ginghams in there. And then shimmery ones. And then last but not least, the fabric covered with some floral patterns. Oh, they're so pretty. Now I just start hiding them in my grass. But then I kind of realize once I see it that it really does need ribbon. So I go ahead and cut up a bunch of ribbon and dovetail them. And then I thought, this blue tube mesh would look really pretty, kind of give it a new texture. I always like to just use single-sided loops as opposed to looping it back and forth and twist it and then folding it up. It's a preference. Add that to my ribbons, and then just start adding them to the wreath. I always go back to the wreath frame, and if you wanted your ribbons to be out a little more, you could make them a little longer. These were cut at 11 inches and then dovetailed. And these were my favorite eggs because, like I said, they reminded me of when you're a kid and you have the little die kits. And I always thought I was going to make masterpieces, but everything just ended up marbled or abstract. Now we're going to do this little egg. It looks like a giant Easter egg. It's so pretty. It's the ringlet as well. And I used the Dollar Tree wreath frame. And I changed out that light blue at the top to green. You start by giving yourself something to add to those center pieces so you don't have a big hole. And I just added pipe cleaners. I used 2 pipe cleaners for each one of them and then just wrapped them around. I did end up putting a little hot glue on them just so they didn't move around. Then we're going to cut our 10-inch mesh to 10 inches. It's just like we did on the other ringlet, so I don't spend a lot of time showing you that. Again, just roll them up, twist it around so that both of the rings are pointing up. And they don't always stay that way, but it gives them a good start. Then just attach it to your wreath frame. And then I take these, and I did double them up and cut 2 at a time. It makes it a little faster, but I could have done the third one in there as well. Now on the 5.5 inch, you don't do 2 and twist them. You just do 4, because if you twist the 10-inch mesh, you're getting 5 inches. So that's how this ends up being able to use the 5.5 inch mesh when you're doing 10 inches on the others. Just make a bundle, attach it, and you're done. And I think it turned out super cute. You could add ribbons and stuff if you wanted, but I just think it's perfect the way it is. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.